For the people, weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Cache Valley Pharmacy. A 34-year-old Logan man facing charges of allegedly sexually abusing a teenage girl in Cache and Wasatch counties has waived his right to a preliminary hearing. Eric W. Smith is accused in charging documents of molesting the 14-year-old girl several times in July 2020. Smith participated in a virtual hearing in First District Court this afternoon. He was previously charged with 2 counts of forcible sexual abuse, a second-degree felony. Court records show Smith faces a similar charge in the 4th District Court in Heber City. Cache County Deputy Attorney Dane Murray explained that the 2 cases are due to the allegations reportedly taking place over the period of several days in both areas. The alleged victim was an acquaintance of the defendant's family. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly clear but hazy conditions tonight, and the overnight low will be in the mid-50s. And then another sunny, hot day tomorrow with haze in the forecast as well, especially in the morning hours tomorrow, mid-90s. It's been to 96. It's 96 degrees right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Stevens Forest Products. Pick up bark, mulch, or compost. Buy it by the bag and save $1 or $2. Buy it in bulk and save even more at 3277 North Main.
This is Phil with Cache Valley Pharmacy. We love being in Cache Valley and want to thank you for your support. Cache Valley Pharmacy features the best prices in the valley, and as always, free delivery. If you're in the market for prescriptions, check first with Cache Valley Pharmacy for the absolute best prices, especially on compounds and insulin. We've been doing pharmacy better than anyone else in the valley with free delivery valley-wide for the last 19 years. Cache Valley Pharmacy, the pharmacy delivery experts. Order your prescriptions online at cachevalleypharmacy.com.
KVNU News Time is 5:07. Next Wednesday, June 23rd at 6 p.m., North Logan is hosting a grand opening that bicycle enthusiasts should be excited about. North Logan Mayor Damon Cann made the announcement on KVNU's For the People program on Monday.
We're excited to announce the grand opening of a BMX bicycle track and an accompanying pump track that will be available and open for the broader community to make use of for years into the future.
The new bike track is located at 950 East, 2500 North near Elkridge Park. Logan City has a bike park that opened nearly 2 years ago at Bridger Park. And Kahn said that they are excited to be able to add another cycling feature to the portfolio of outdoor recreation options in Cache Valley. The mayor also said that North Logan has always prioritized and cared for the businesses in the city, and a part of that effort is to bring new businesses in.
You may know we're very excited to have Cal Ranch coming into the old Kmart building. That's a facility that came empty several years ago as Kmart was going through some struggles nationally. And so we're really excited to have Cal Ranch coming in. They will be using, I think it's about 2/3 of the space in that building.
Kahn said that they are reaching out to the business community at large to be a partner with them in that space. He said the Western Wear business is targeting a July opening for the store that has been located at the Cache Valley Mall. The mayor said the city hopes to attract other businesses into some of the pad sites on the property. And a committee is recommending Dixie State University in St. George change its name to Utah Polytechnic State University. That came Monday from a committee tasked with considering removal of the term associated with the Deep South and slavery. Their recommendation also includes a suggested nickname, Utah Tech. KVNU News Time is 5:09. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Adams Wealth Advisors puts clients first under any circumstance. No matter what the financial world may be doing, you will receive peace of mind with Adams Wealth Advisors.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Schedule a time with an advisor today. Call us at 752-1702 or visit adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Hey, it's Al Lewis. Happy spring. I love this beautiful weather, but if you struggle with CPAP, you may not be getting the sleep you need to go outside and enjoy it. Fortunately, now there's Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more at InspireSleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. And review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Did you get a landscape plan and now wonder what's next? You need Canyon Landscaping. They can build any plan into a signature landscape. Since 1999, their team has viewed educating clients as a crucial part of every project. This ensures customers get the best finished landscape for their specific site. No two sites are the same, so be sure to come to the experts with expertise and knowledge of delivering on any landscape plan. Call 752-3838 or go to canyonlandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
Feels like Tuesday. Tuesday has no feel.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People, hour 2 of today's show. It is Tuesday, June 15th. I'm Jason Williams. Bill Walter here in the studio with us as well. And we are going to kick things right off this hour. We have some very special guests on the line with us to talk about an upcoming event that is centered around a very serious thing that is happening, not just here in Cache Valley, but throughout the North American continent. The monarch butterfly is in trouble, and for a lot of different reasons. We'll dig into that, as well as this event and how you can get out, be a part of something that's sure to be educational, entertaining, and also an opportunity for you to learn about a bit of activism you can do to help the monarch butterfly. It's easier than you'd think. Joining us right now by phone, we have Dr. Gail Morris of the Southwest Monarch Study, and also Rose Dutson and Becky Yeager joining us. So organizers all of the upcoming, make sure I get this right, Utah's Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders event that will be taking place in Nibley later this month. And to you all, thank you for joining us. Who wants to start us out here today, maybe talking a little bit about why the monarch deserves some attention right now?
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having us. This is really a special opportunity for us to put our word out. But we are putting on the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival on June 24th on a Thursday night. It's from 4 o'clock p.m. to dusk. And, it's at Nibley Heritage Park. And we're doing this because we want to bring awareness for monarch conservation in our valley. We have a good population up here in our valley, but the monarchs are in decline pretty seriously. So we want to keep getting the word out that we need to protect them. But we also want to support other winged wonders. So, fireflies, which Firefly Park is adjacent to Heritage. And so you can stay the night or later in the night and then go and check out the fireflies as they're blinking. They're at the peak of their breeding season. But dragonflies, birds, bats, all winged wonders.
Very nice. This is fireflies, of course, one of Cache Valley's best-kept secrets that isn't a secret. You can see these every year for a brief period of time there at that park in Nibley. And combining this with raising awareness of what's happening with the monarch butterfly and more, just a unique opportunity. Again, as you were just told, the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival is happening right here in Cache Valley, June 24th, starting at 4 p.m., going until dusk. And I thought this was very cool. You guys you had a little competition a little while ago. You're offering $50 to anyone, and correct me if I'm wrong. This was a tri-county competition, right? This was Weber County, Cache County, and Rich County. And the first one was spotted here.
Right. Well, Cache Valley, actually Ella, one of our favorite little monarch enthusiasts, she was the one who saw the first monarch here in the valley. We had several sightings, but part of the competition was that you had to take a picture and be able to do a geolocation for it. So Cache Valley and Rich and Weber are always the last for the monarchs to arrive to. So we had sightings across the state because we were part of the competition across the state. But we wanted to focus on our 3 areas because we know ours don't arrive until later, closer to summer solstice, Father's Day. So, we were really excited to have Ella be one of our enthusiasts who was able to spot the Cache Valley monarch and get a picture of it.
That is very cool. This is, so this is something I've been paying a bit of attention to the extent that I stopped cutting down the milkweeds in a little corner of the pasture there. But that can help. There are a lot of other things we can do, and where part of this event is to try and bring some attention to this. Well, maybe starts out, and whichever of you would like to take this, maybe Dr. Morris would like to provide some background on the study work she's been involved with. But what's happening with the monarch butterfly? Why are they in trouble?
Hi. We're not really quite sure why the monarchs are having the problem that they are today, and that's part of the conundrum of what we're trying to learn to do. And so by providing good habitats, which both Rose and Becky are excellent at giving ideas of how to do that, with the milkweed you just mentioned, you're providing the opportunity for them to be able to breed and have that population of theirs expand. What we do, in addition to that, though, we encourage people to be looking for monarch adults, like you just heard of the first ones in the area, but also the caterpillars on the milkweed and others, and to possibly, if you can, register your sightings with a group called Journey North. And they track the monarchs as they move all across the entire United States, and you could see their movement when you put it in motion coming all the way up. And in the fall, consider going out in the field and putting a tag on a monarch and see where it goes. We're really lucky that both Rose and Becky here both have tagged monarchs that were seen in other locations. In fact, Becky was the first one in Utah to ever tag a monarch that was seen 152 miles away.
Wow.
And it was actually going, the significant thing about hers was that it was going on an angle to the southeast, which would indicate it wasn't going to California, but could it have ended up maybe going down to Mexico?
Wow. That is...
Yeah.
These are large in relation to other butterflies. These are large, but in relation to everything else, they're not. And for something that small to travel that far, that's always been the most mind-blowing thing about the monarch butterfly to me. That is a long distance. How does one how do you safely tag a butterfly?
The number one question from everyone, isn't it? Very carefully. But it's easy to do, and we have some videos on our website of how to do it, where you just take a little tag, and there's a little cell called the discal cell on their wing that you could place that tag on, and you just hold it for a few seconds, and you're ready to let them go after you write down the tag number and all the information we're asking for. If you think that 152 miles was kind of cool, think of 655 miles.
Wow.
That is the monarch that Rose and her son Joshua tagged. And that one ended up on the coast in Ventura, California.
That is amazing.
It is. We always say they're so fragile, right?
Sure.
And yet, look how far they can fly.
And considering the obstacles as well, the number of freeways alone between here and there, It's honestly amazing an animal can travel that far. I remember in grade school learning they could travel, 50 to 100 miles a day. I couldn't walk 5 a day. So this is honestly amazing. Dr. Morris, tell us a little bit, before we get back to the experience specific here in Cache Valley in this festival, why is it important that we make sure that this butterfly doesn't disappear from our neck of the woods?
Right. Monarch butterflies are an indicator species. They're incredibly long migration. And if things are happening to them to diminish their population, you can only imagine what's happening to the other populations of pollinators all around us, which we also know are declining.
Sure.
And so, you're right. And so because of their beautiful big wings and bright colors and long migration, they kind of stand out as a species to watch and to take care of. And especially because this is something we could all do to help with.
Sure.
And you could, by planting the right things in your yard, they'll be in your backyard too.
Easy thing to do, and there's some great websites. I've used them myself on tips of what you can plant as well. You can even buy a little seed packet that is specific to attracting butterflies, including the monarch, and they're beautiful in wildflower gardens. That's my little tip here, but it's fascinating to me, the distance they travel, their importance to the ecology, and just how cool they look when you see them. We all have experience with the monarch. I think most people here in Cache Valley have at one time or another probably watched the whole process from caterpillar to butterfly happen in the kitchen window in a mason jar or something similar to that. Question for you, Rose and Becky. For listeners, again, our guests here, Dr. Gail Morris of the Southwest Monarch Study, and also Cache Valley residents Rose Dutson and Becky Yeager, joining us to talk about the upcoming festival taking place in Nibley City later this month. It's Thursday, June 24th. Starts at 4 p.m. and goes until dusk at the Heritage Park there in Nibley. The festival titled Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. There will be fireflies, Cache Valley's best kept secret, and a lot of educational opportunities and activities centered around the monarch and butterflies in general. Question for you, Rose, and you, Becky, as co-organizers of this festival, helping to raise awareness, as Dr. Morris just mentioned, even tagging butterflies that have traveled hundreds of miles around the country here. What drew you to this? Was it like me? Was it that mason jar in the kitchen window with the caterpillar? Is that where it started?
I think so, Jason. I mean, you and I, in our growing up here in this valley, we had those opportunities to raise and release monarchs. And in fact, when I moved back here, and I went to the different high schools and started teaching and sharing about monarch conservation, it was really wonderful to actually hear high school students talking about that they had been taught to raise and release monarchs by their parents or their grandparents or a sister or a family member. And so because of that, here in this valley, we just have such a unique kind of a heritage story of raising and releasing monarchs. And to be honest, that's actually how, Becky and I, you become enthusiasts because you've fallen in love with the raising and the releasing of the monarchs and bringing in that childlike wonder of being able to be a part of something so incredibly special. And it was actually a conversation that Becky and I were having at one of the early monarch festivals that Becky had started at the Gardener's Market. Was, I was just telling her about these stories that I'd been hearing from the kids and the grandkids, and as people would come up, grandparents, talking about their stories here in the valley. And that's how Becky came up with the idea of engaging UPR to have us start to record these stories before we don't lose them, right? But
sure.
The monarch is in peril, but that is something that was so special to us to hear all of these really wonderful family stories and heritage stories of the monarch here in Cache Valley. Because, to be honest, we didn't really know how unique our valley was in the experiences of raising and releasing monarchs until, we started all kind of gathering together here in the valley and talking about raising and releasing monarchs and trying to increase the habitat and provide good habitat for the monarchs to migrate to and to live on while it was here.
That is, my experience exactly. In fact, Rose, growing up, here in Cache Valley. I thought for many years the Monarch was kind of exclusive to Cache Valley because you'd see so many of them. Not so much anymore. And I don't know that any butterfly embodies summer in northern Utah more than a monarch butterfly as well. But again, for listeners, they are in trouble. As Dr. Morris mentioned, we don't really know why for sure. There are some theories, pesticides and more, possibly even certain farming activities. But like all pollinators, they are on the decline in number, and you don't have to be a scientist to know that would be bad for all of us. So some simple things you can do. First off, get out to this festival where you can learn more. It's the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival happening Thursday, June 24th at Heritage Park in Nibley. An opportunity for you, if you've never done it before, to see the the fireflies, not wildfires. Hopefully we see none of that. To see the fireflies of Cache Valley. Cache Valley's best and worst kept secret at the same time. Happens for a brief period of time in Nibley every year, and it's in conjunction with this festival. June 24th, again, starting at 4 p.m., going until dusk in Heritage Park there in Nibley, the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. And last question for all of you here, for you, Dr. Morris, Rose, Becky, some simple tips for listeners right now if they maybe want to do something in their yard that's going to encourage or at least maybe be a nice stopover and leg up for these long-traveling butterflies. What are some simple things we can all do in our yards?
Gail, do you want to start us off?
Well, I thought you two might be the best experts at this.
Okay, sure. We can do that. Well, one of the things I would suggest is that at the festival we'll have the Monarchs of Bridgerland booth. So if you have questions, we will have seed packets and seedlings, and we can answer questions about all of the different pollinator plants that will be there. But even as Gail had mentioned, and Jason, you mentioned about how it might be kind of scary to tag a monarch, we're happy to help people with that and share our expertise and knowledge and even some of our nuances of things that we've been learning to do, changes in raising and releasing monarchs, because we don't want to actually infringe or hurt the monarch by you can actually cause some harm in working with the monarch butterfly. So it would just be great if we could have people come by, either join us on our Facebook page or stop by the booth, and we'll have conversations there about seedlings and flowers and how to help the monarch.
Very nice. This is, for listeners, I've shared that Facebook page on our own Facebook page. If you'd like to find it there, you can simply search on Facebook for the Cache Valley Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. And it's, again, Thursday, June 24th, 4 p.m. As you've just been told, some hands-on training, some seed packets, tips, educational opportunities, and a whole lot of fun. Activities for the kids and more. Get to see the fireflies of Nibley and also learn about the monarch butterfly. Everything from, as we've been discussing here, how to tag it to help understand the decline in population, or just learn a bit more about it to appreciate it. Maybe plant something in your yard it will like to taste as it comes through on its many weeks of journey every year. Our guests again have been Dr. Gail Morris of the Southwest Monarch Study, Cache Valley residents Rose Dutson and Becky Yeager, co-organizers, all of them organizers of the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. One more time, Thursday, June 24th, 4 p.m. to dusk in Heritage Park in Nibley. And Dr. Morris, Gail, Rose, Becky, appreciate y'all taking so much time for us today. I've taken more than I asked for, but it's been a pleasure to talk about this, and I learned a thing or two, hopefully, when everyone else did. Thank you for taking some time for KVNU today.
Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Thanks to all of you. A pleasure to have you on. We'll talk again soon. And one last time for listeners, get out to this festival. Learn as much as you can. Enjoy yourselves. See the fireflies. Learn about the butterflies. Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival happening June 24th. Heritage Park in Nibley starts at 4 p.m., goes till dusk. And the Facebook page, linked on our own Facebook page, or simply search on Facebook for Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival 2021. You'll find it there. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Connect. It's what we do and where we go. We connect with people at home or at work, online or in person. Everyone needs connecting. At CBTD, we are committed to helping our community connect by providing a service for you, a service that gives some the independence that they otherwise might not have. Our employees are here to connect you with the people and places that matter most through our services and through our values. Learn more at cbtdbus.org.
If you live in the south end of the valley, no doubt you've noticed the historical Hiram Granary taking an important role in our new Cache Valley Bank location. I'm Catherine Buse, branch manager. Keeping in touch with our history while looking to the future is part of Cache Valley Bank's mission. Hiram is Cache Valley Bank's 7th location in the valley. Join us for food and giveaways as we celebrate our Hiram branch grand opening June 26th. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Clay Travis. In 50 years, we have gone from Woodstock, wildness, rebellion, to now we have such a consensus culture among our youth who are the most sheep-like of any generation that has ever existed.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, inspired by Rush. Debuting June 21st.
Weekdays from 10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, the voice of Northern Utah.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. It is, we didn't really stress this during the interview, which is great. We're focused on the positive side of things with the guests. Now I'll get to the negative side here by myself. But the monarch butterfly is really in trouble. The population hit a record low about 7 years ago. And those numbers, by the way, are measured by, a count. They go through a habitat area, and then they count regularly how many they see in that specific large area, and then they track that year to year. And the highest count on record is the 1996-97 season, and monarchs were occupying. They were seen in a lot of them in this 45 area count habitat in Mexico. And then by 2010-ish, that's when they started to see a decline, and it had happened before, but then it just didn't stop declining. And so it's bad. And as Rose and Becky and Dr. Gail Morris all mentioned in that segment there, their fate is very closely tied to the fate of all pollinators. Bees, wasps even do some pollinating. This is not a good thing. This is, and as Dr. Gail Morris in that interview mentioned, we're not really sure why this is happening. There are some theories out there. Certain pesticides that are used and are not as heavily regulated in other countries like Mexico and even parts of South America, whereas they're outright illegal to use here in the United States. That might be a contributing factor in many ways. Certain farming activity and practices, that may also be a factor. There are a lot of different theories, but there's no conclusion yet from researchers. The problem is every scientist involved in this says we don't have time necessarily to wait for a direct answer on what's causing the decline. We need to act now to try and build up the population of pollinator insects, bees, monarch butterflies, for example, every butterfly, every type of bee, not just the honeybee, and also embark in some pretty aggressive habitat restoration. That's one theory that seems to be the predominant theory, that loss of grasslands and wetlands is the primary reason we're seeing a decline in pollinator populations. So there's some easy things you can do. Again, you can get out and learn about it at this festival we were talking about, Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival 2021, happening in Nibley at Heritage Park on Thursday, June 24th. Starts at 4 p.m., goes until dusk. As Rose, Becky, and Dr. Morris mentioned there will be educational opportunities. They'll have a booth. We'll actually be teaching people how to tag monarch butterflies. Rose mentioned she'd tagged one that was seen 600 miles away, headed northeast or southwest.
I mean, the distances they go is just amazing. And
it blows me away.
And I saw a video once. I guess they can lose like over half of their wingspan
and still
fly.
Still fly.
Yeah, they're very resilient insects, but like you mentioned, they're in danger.
Yeah, they're in danger. The decline alone was concerning. The record low numbers several years in a row now has researchers in the pollinator fields outright panicked, and we all should probably be very worried about this. Again, there's some really simple things you can do in your own backyard. You can learn about those at the festival on June 24th in Nibley at Heritage Park. That evening, 4 p.m. to dusk, the Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. You can also, if you're impatient like me, you can do some Googling. I did. I found a list of plants, a list of, I even ordered some wildflower. I keep saying wildfire. It's on my mind. It's dry and hot out there.
That's what we've been talking about for weeks.
July 4th coming up. I'm concerned about it. But yeah, I got some wildflower seed packets, hummingbird and butterfly mix, it was called. Man, this thing was amazing. And it was easy, too. So I'll go through the process with everybody. There was this little parcel of land, tiny, next to a shed. It hadn't been used for anything. The grass wouldn't grow there because of the bright sun beating down on it all day. It got no shade, except for a few hours in the morning. It was shaded by the rising sun when it's cool, But by the time it's heated up, it's nice and hot out there. This patch of land was just direct sunlight. I know these wildflowers enjoy that kind of thing, and so I tilled up the grass, put some, stuff in there to make the dirt a little more friendly to growing things, and I took this seed packet, Bill. I ripped the top of it off, following the instructions. Ripped the top of it off, and I went. I just kind of threw it across the dirt, and then this was a couple of years ago, and then following the instructions, I ran a sprinkler on it for just about 3 to 4 minutes every day as the sun was going down, just to wet the top layer, and it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's it comes back every year.
And even you can plant it.
Oh, yeah, even I can grow it. The wildflowers are so aggressive I don't have to weed. They kill all the weeds. Well, there are a few. I have to pull the occasional thistle out. They take care of themselves. I water it occasionally, especially this summer, but even last summer, I watered it occasionally, not like you would a normal flower garden. It was healthy regardless, and just beautiful. And the coolest thing was standing next to this little patch once in a while in the afternoon sun on a weekend and hearing the buzzes of bees, cutter bees, honey bees, everything, just all over this little patch. And then I did see 4 monarch butterflies come through and land on. There's this one flower that comes with it called the butterfly flower, actually. It has a fancy Latin name. And just great food and energy for these monarch butterflies as they make this long 2-month tour, basically, of the continent. So it was cool to see all this happening. So really some easy things you can do in your own backyard to help out, but much more you can do if you're inclined. Some educational opportunities, activities for the family, for the kids, all of that at the Monarch and Other Winged Wonders Festival 2021, which again is happening Thursday, June 24th at Heritage Park in Nibley. This is in conjunction with the sighting of fireflies that happens every roughly this time of year in Nibley. for a very short period of time. So an opportunity, kind of a twofer with this one. So 1 week from this Thursday, June 24th, Monarchs and Other Winged Wonders Festival. Thanks again to Dr. Gail Morris, Rose Dutson, and Becky Yeager, our guests. And we'll take a look at the news now here on KVNU's For the People with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. The news brought to you by the Duck Hunter for the third straight day, and in 4 of the last 5 days, the Utah Department of Health reported no new coronavirus deaths. Over the course of the pandemic, there have been 2,323 COVID deaths in the state. There were 237 new cases in Utah since Monday. That includes 9 in the Bear River Health District. Since Monday, 2,909 more people were tested, while 5,015 total tests were administered, and now more than 2.74 million Utahns have been tested for COVID-19 since the pandemic started. And since Monday, 12,515 vaccines were administered, and that means over 2.75 million doses have gone into the arms of Utahns during the pandemic. Southeastern Idaho, as far as total positive cases, totals 1,208, 393 total cases in Bear Lake County since the pandemic began, 362 in Oneida County. During a hearing for the Energy and Natural Resources Subcommittee on Public Lands, Forests, and Mining, U.S. Senator Mitt Romney will deliver remarks tomorrow on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail Advancement Act. The legislation introduced by Senator Romney and Representative John Curtis from Utah earlier this year would enable the construction of high-priority sections of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail to enhance recreation opportunities near Utah's most urban areas. The trail is planned to eventually connect the Idaho border to Nephi, stretching over 280 miles. The legislation is co-sponsored by the Utah congressional delegation, including the subcommittee's ranking member, Senator Mike Lee. And unemployed Idaho residents could get kicked out of a state benefits program if they don't follow new job-seeking requirements that went into effect this month. The Idaho Statesman reports that people receiving unemployment benefits now have 2 business days to apply for a job opening after receiving a referral from the Idaho Department of Labor. If they do not, they could lose their unemployment benefits. State workforce consultants will check with the potential employer to verify that the person applied for the referred job. Previously, the Labor Department did not track whether people followed up on referrals. KVNU News Time is 5:42.
Did you just build a home or remodel your current home? Well, if so, John at the Duck Hunter says you should have your heating ducts cleaned as soon as possible and change out to a high-quality furnace filter. The dust from construction, sawdust, drywall, and more is sitting in your ductwork. Your furnace filter's probably clogged. You'd be surprised what John has found in air ducts, toys, construction debris, and rodents. Let the Duck Hunter clean the ducts today. Call for a free consultation. The Duck Hunter, 770-4813.
We are the Duck Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duck Hunter.
KVNU weather, mostly clear, but areas of haze and smokes also in our forecast. Overnight low in the mid-50s. Sunny and then partly cloudy tomorrow. Haze in the morning. Another hot day, mid-90s, as we'll keep it in the mid-90s pretty much all week into the weekend. 96 our high today. It's 96 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Pharmacy. They've been doing pharmacy better than anyone else in the valley with free delivery valley-wide for the last 19 years. Cache Valley Pharmacy, the pharmacy delivery experts. Order your prescription online at cachevalleypharmacy.com. For more details on these and other stories, visit cachevalleydaily.com.
This is Dr. Red, chiropractic physician with Red River Health and Wellness. Are you suffering with fatigue, brain fog, headaches, intestinal issues, weight gain, and you haven't been able to find any answers?
I've constantly been fighting with my weight and thyroid issues for more than 25 years, and none of the doctors in 25 years have ever been able to explain to me what Hashimoto's is what it means to me, and how to manage it.
Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
Today, my life is like the minute I get out of bed, I hit the ground running. I'm ready to go. I want to see what today is going to bring, what adventures I'm going to have without pain and with all the energy to do everything that I want to do.
Our goal is to teach you and educate you so you know how to manage your condition a lot more effectively and you know what to do and what not to do for the rest of your life. With our satisfaction guarantee, you have nothing to lose.
Call Red River at 855-55-RIVER to schedule an in-depth consultation absolutely free. All appointments can be done remotely by FaceTime, Skype, or phone.
Pristine wilderness can still be found in the West, where creeks run freely and historic apple trees still bear fruit. Maple Creek Ranch features breathtaking canyon views and opportunities for real estate development. 2.5-acre lots are now available with adjacent wilderness areas that provide endless riding and recreational possibilities. So find your piece of paradise just 35 minutes from Logan at Maple Creek Ranch. Schedule your appointment online at maplecreekranch.net.
This is the Sean Hannity Show.
The supply shortages, now we see lines reminiscent of the 70s. How many of you don't know what happened in the 70s or don't remember what happened in the 70s? Because I do. If you're over 50, you'll remember the horrendous lines of cars waiting at gas stations. I mean, long waits, and then even you spend $5 to put in your car, and that's it. Stretching in some cases for miles.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 on News Talk KVNU.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. I'm Jason Williams. An additional item to get to here on the show before we're out of time. Man, these shows go by so fast, Bill. 13 years, I still feel like it's just,
especially with guests.
Well, almost every night I go home and think, I wanted to talk about this. Completely forgot. Ran out of time. So before we're out of time, because he'd be mad at us if we asked him to join us and then didn't give him the mic. I want to get to this because some people have probably noticed some activity, if you will, around the area, which is not this that we're going to talk about, but there is a lot of activity coming to the Logan Regional Hospital area, and this comes after a lot of changes already. There's a new addition that will be breaking ground soon, and this is a pretty large project that's planned there at Logan Regional Hospital, but there's a specific reason all this is happening. With the details, here's Craig.
Well, thank you, Jason. It's been a few days now, probably a week, since a recent groundbreaking, and soon construction is going to begin on an addition to the Intermountain Logan Regional Hospital. The CEO, Brandon McBride, is joining us today to talk about it. Brandon, first of all, where is this new building going to go up?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Good morning. It's great to spend some time with you for a few minutes today. Yeah, so this is a project that's been in the making for a long time, and we're really excited to announce and to begin construction on a new building that will be located on the northeast corner of Logan Regional Hospital campus, essentially straight northeast of the emergency department or our emergency room. This project will be a new 3-story building, about 110,000 square feet, and will allow us to relocate many of our hospital inpatient services to this new building. And so the project will begin. The groundbreaking was this last week. We'll actually start construction this coming week. It will be about a 3-year project on our campus between building the new building, and once the new building is in place, we will relocate services from the 2 towers that are on the front of the hospital campus right now into the new building. And then we will demolish the 2 front towers of the hospital and make space for a nice new entry and drop-off zone for the hospital. That's been one of our biggest challenges on the hospital campus is wayfinding and having a clear front door to the facility. So this project's going to give us the opportunity to have a clearly identified front door to the hospital and it will be much better for our patients and visitors from a wayfinding standpoint.
But the entrance or the front door is still basically in the same place then?
It will be, yes. Right now it's on kind of the northwest side of the campus. As we demolish those two buildings on the northwest side, we will build a new entryway and new drop-off area right essentially in the same location.
Well, you touched on this a little bit. I've read that the addition is going to improve connectivity between medical services like surgical and ICU and transitional care and the behavioral health unit. So explain to me what that means.
Yeah, that's a great point. So right now on our campus, some of our inpatient services are spread throughout the campus. And what this project allows us to do is to relocate all of our inpatient services into one area of the campus. So this new building will be connected directly to our Women's Center. It will be in a separate building, but will be directly connected to it. So all of our inpatient services, so like our surgical unit, our medical unit, our pediatric unit, transitional care, ICU, will all be located adjacent to the Women's Center on the northeast part of the campus. One of the most exciting parts of this project is that we have the opportunity to expand our behavioral health service. Unfortunately, the need for behavioral health services in the community continues to grow, and we end up transferring out about 250 adults a year out of Cache Valley because our current behavioral health unit is at capacity. So this project is going to allow us to increase the number of inpatient adult behavioral health beds that we have. We'll increase those by about 40%, and that will allow us to keep more adult patients in Cache Valley and not have to send them to other facilities outside of the Cache Valley area.
I think the last time I checked, there were upwards of 150 beds in the hospital. When all the construction's done and you're moved in, what will that number be like?
Yeah, great question. So we will actually, with some consolidation, we're seeing a dramatic shift in healthcare from inpatient services to outpatient services. So much of what we're providing these days is done on an outpatient basis. So we're actually going to be dropping the number of beds that we'll have as a hospital. We'll drop from 146 licensed beds down to about 130 licensed beds, and we'll operate about 123 beds once this new building is in place. So we will reduce the number of beds that we actually have on the inpatient side. Another great thing that this provides us with the opportunity to do is to have a newly designed patient rooms. For anybody that's been in our patient rooms in our medical or surgical or ICU, they're a little old, they're outdated, and they need to be modernized and refreshed. And this gives us an opportunity to bring those rooms to current healthcare standards and give a little bit more space and seating area for our patient visitors.
As you get going on the construction, are you still working under some COVID restrictions then?
We are. Currently, we have visitor restrictions in place. Actually, beginning on Tuesday, June 15th, we will be softening those a little bit. Currently, we only allow 2 designated visitors, but starting tomorrow, we will actually allow 2 visitors at any time for any patient. And so a patient in the hospital can have more than 2 designated visitors, but just no more than 2 at the bedside at any time. That's going to allow patients' loved ones to be here in the hospital more and be with them during a critical part of their life.
Seems like it was 5 or 6 years ago another building project increased the space of the Budge Clinic and some other parts of the hospital. So from that point on until, I guess, just recently or whenever, when was it apparent the hospital had to grow again?
Well, this project with this new building that we're building has actually been part of a 4-phase master site plan. So we've been thinking about this for over a decade. We built the Women's Center in 2007. We built the Cancer Center in 2008 and then expanded it again in 2019. As you mentioned, we expanded the Budge Clinic in 2015. And then this project is part of that growth to address more of the hospital inpatient needs. And so we've known that this has been needed for some time, and it's just taken time to work through and make sure that we've got the right design in the right location and that we're setting up the facility and the campus for decades of growth and care for the community. we're really excited about this project because we think it's going to really allow us to modernize our inpatient towers and make sure we continue to provide state-of-the-art care to the community.
Anything else we should know about this new building?
I think the biggest thing is that we are constantly focused on how we can continue to meet the needs of the community. And this new tower gives us an opportunity to continue to make sure that happens for decades to come for the residents of Cache Valley. Our focus is helping people live the healthiest lives possible in the community, and a new state-of-the-art building that can meet the healthcare needs of the community is something we're really excited about, and it's been a long time in the making, so we're excited to get going on construction.
Well, that's the CEO, Brandon McBride of Intermountain Logan Regional Hospital. We really appreciate you taking some time to explain what's going on out there.
Great. Thanks, Craig. I appreciate it.
Let's get back to Jason and Bill now.
Thank you, Craig. And I'm guessing that's going to be welcome news to a lot of our listeners. As I was telling Bill before we started this segment, that's the most frequent complaint I hear, is that things can take a while to get scheduled to make happen, and it's not a
lack of space.
Yeah, it's not an issue of no doctors or anything like that. It's just the space to do it doesn't exist. So some welcome expansion to Logan Regional Hospital there underway. We'll be back with more of KVNU's For the People right after this.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology is Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Schedule a free consultation with Dr. Paul Danes by calling 753-HEAR or visit cachehearing.com.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Utah is in extreme drought. Reservoir levels are low, and wildfire risk is dangerously high. We don't know how long this drought will last, so we all need to do our part to save water. Reduce lawn watering to no more than twice a week for northern Utah and 3 times a week for southern Utah. Your lawn won't look lush and green, but grass is resilient and will bounce back when conditions improve. Prioritize your watering to focus on trees and shrubs. Check with your local water provider for possible restrictions in your area. For more information, visit slowtheflow.org.
Better weather, longer days, and the urge to get outside. Spring has sprung. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical, and we'd love to help you scoot into spring and enjoy $200 off our high-quality scooters. Bringing wellness home is our motto, so also enjoy $200 off our best-selling lift chairs. For locations and information, visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
Hey, it's Al Lewis. Happy spring. I love this beautiful weather, but if you struggle with CPAP, you may not be getting the sleep you need to go outside and enjoy it. Fortunately, now there's Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more at InspireSleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. And review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Wrapping the show up today with a bit of a programming note. Tomorrow on the show, a full docket. We've got Hour 1, Speak to the Mayor with Logan City Mayor Holly Danes. Hour 2, we haven't named this segment yet, but after a 2-week delay, my fault, not his, we'll be joined by Cache County Executive David Zook. So back-to-back guests in the studio tomorrow filling the entire show. And just, again, a programming note, where Mayor Danes is a candidate for office, a candidate for re-election as mayor of Logan City, what we'll be doing is, so this will be the last, until the election, the last Speak to the Mayor with Mayor Danes here in the studio with us. And Mayor Danes, if you're listening, we'll miss you. But depending on how the election turns out, not going to be the last Speak to the Mayor segment, to say the least. So that election is underway, though it won't really heat up until maybe September. That's the way of things with municipal races. we will be speaking to all the candidates frequently on the show through the summer. But as far as the Speak to the Mayor segment, spoke with the mayor and city administrator today. And what we're planning for this is, so tomorrow, Mayor Daines will be with us. And then when the July Speak to the Mayor segment comes around, it will be a mystery person from Logan City, a department head.
It will be her stunt double.
Yeah, her stunt double. That works. It'll be a department head, perhaps. Hoping we can get the police chief in, maybe. He hates that, so we might have to twist his arm. And he doesn't hate us. Just hates being in the spotlight, as all good police chiefs do. And, so we'll be speaking with department heads, key staff of the city, related to current events, things going on in the city. I would still love to one day be able to interview City Administrator Teresa Harris, but she's told me flat up no. Maybe we'll get her in. And that will continue until October. By the time of the November Speak to the Mayor segment, we'll know who won the election. So